Bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Oops, am I live? Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-ba-bum. Ha-da-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-bum. Hello, everybody. God, and go ahead. Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay, I'm going to stop touching my phone because I keep hitting buttons and welcome everybody. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card readings. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And hello. Okay, now fiddling with my phone. I lost track of what I was doing and where I actually put my cards. I can't do readings without my card. Where the heck did I put my cards? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yep. Note to self. If I lose something, if I can't find something, you were just listening to Fawn today, Leah. God, I love them. They're so cool. Note to self. If I can't find something, I'm probably sitting on it. I was sitting on my cards. So, okay. Let me get kind of settled here. I was kind of getting ready, and then I was like, I should probably take a quick potty break before we start. If I'm going to be sitting in one spot for 2 hours. Welcome, everybody. Um, okay. All right, actually, let me check and see. So, oh, hi, Kim. Okay, let me get right down. So, if you are new here, let me say that. The way this works, the first 5 people to say yes in the comments get a 1 card reading. Hi, Lasati. Um, and so I've already got some. Let's see if we might be close to our 5 already. I got Aaliyah and Joe, Anna, and hi, Tammy. Yep. All right. We already have our 5. So what that means for everybody else is um, I'm going to do 5 1 card readings. And since I've already got the people who said yes in the comments to get their card reading, um, all you need to do if you're not one of those 5 is to choose a number between 1 and 5 and pay attention to that card when it comes up, because spirit has this beautiful way of interweaving messages, and I promise that whatever your question is, you will get an answer by listening to that card. And if you are just watching and waiting for your card to come up, pay attention to everything, right? It's like um, we are connected, right? And every message is a message for the community as well, right? When I used to go to, I used to go to, and then I led a sacred pipe ceremony for many years near here. And one of the things we did at the end was we would we would pass a basket of cards around, and everyone got to pick a card, and then we would read them out loud, because even though the card might specifically be towards something that of that individual person, every message carried something for everybody else as well. So I promise you will not leave empty handed. And so, okay, feel like I hit the ground running. I need to need to ground. So the best way to do that, I'm going to set sacred space so that we are doing so these readings take on rather than just being this this random occurrence, we are setting it into the context of ceremony. Spirits of the earth, spirits of the air, spirits of the fire, spirits of the water, spirits of the upper world, spirits of the lower world, passionate spirits of the middle world, the fae, the spirits of the land, the ancestors of the land. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for holding us in your love and your light. Oh, all right. Whew, that always makes me feel better. Alrighty, so to start again, thank you for joining me. Welcome to another Monday night mini medicine card reading. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to pull medicine cards. So, as I said, we've already got our 5 individual cards, but again, if you're coming in later, if you're not one of the first 5, you're not out of luck. You can just choose a number between 1 and 5 and pay attention to that card. And I promise that your message will be interwoven with whatever else I say for that card, right? Um, and at the end, the reason I do the 5 cards is at the end, I take those 5 cards and I put them in for a community reading in a beautiful way, how our individual messages interweave into community, etc. And if you've ever considered getting a reading with me, it's the normal spread that I would do if you came to me in for a one-on-one reading. So you get a sample reading of what it would be like to come to me. Of course, since we're on a timer and that's like at the end, and I have a tendency to be kind of verbose. um, at the by the end, it's like kind of trying to hurry up. I've got the clock, but if you come to me individually, um, I had the time and the space to go deeper into the cards and to more personally, like right, the community is kind of a generalized, but yeah. So if it's a weird time on the planet right now. We all need guidance, and if you need some guidance, please consider coming to me. You can check on me on my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and you can find out all about me and see the different shamanic services I offer, including readings, and you can sign up for those right from my website. Um, and another thing I wanted to say at the beginning of my video when there are still people here. um, if you are interested in learning about shamanism, or if you've ever been curious about shamanism, I have a great opportunity coming up next a week from this coming Thursday. I'm going to be starting my year-long shamanic course. It's a monthly course. We meet for 3 hours each month to explore a different aspect of shamanism. So for an entire year, you get to walk the path of the shaman, try it out, and it's online, so doesn't matter where you are. Um, it's available for you, and um, I've been teaching this class for over a decade now, and I'm really excited. I took a year or two break from it, and I'm really excited to get back. Um, and if a whole year is a little much for you, I've broken it into 6-month chunks. so that you can try it out for 6 months, see if you like it. And if you do, you can join for the next 6 months. Or if that's enough for you, you can just call it a day at the end of the 6 months. But I really, not just because I teach it, but um, I I highly recommend it. I Is Mercury retrograde or something? Um, yeah, so that is also on my website. If you look in the upcoming events and class schedule, the first thing there, you can sign up right from my website. And if you have questions, you can contact me through my website. Um, so yeah, I love it so much. And it seems like every class starts further along than the class before it. It's like each class goes to a certain place, and then like the next class starts sometimes almost where the last class left off. So it's like I'm really excited to see who signs up, and it's the opportunity to spend 6 months or a year with a small group to explore in the safe and sacred space, um, all these different aspects of shamanism. So check that out. And I'll probably talk more about it at the end, but probably time for us to get eating, huh? So, all right. So, our first card number one is for Kim. Good to see you again, Kim. All right. You had kind of a question on there. I didn't read it out loud, but this is such a great card for you for what you asked. So, card number one is Jaguar. And Jaguar is about um, integrity, right? Um, Not just the integrity and doing the right thing when nobody's looking, although that is a part of it. It's also integrity is about wholeness, right? Like a ship's hull. If it loses integrity, water starts to leak in. And like they say, um, a ship isn't going to sink because of what's outside of it. It's going to sink because of what gets into it. And so um, whatever whatever know that Jaguar is an apex predator, right? She is the queen of the jungle, kind of like Lion King, right? And it's like the circle of life. And though she's at the top of the circle, right? um Everything she does affects every life around that circle, including her own. It all comes back. It's a feedback loop, right? And so she never questions her heart, because her heart is what connects her to creator first of all, and to all the other living creatures in her domain, right? And so if she sees a deer or an antelope and her heart says pounce, she pounces. She doesn't question it. She doesn't overthink it. um she trusts the authority of her heart, because her heart has already done the calculations, her heart being connected to all living things. And in your case, your heart being connected to whoever, whatever you are dealing with, your heart already takes into consideration what is for the highest good of all. And so, bottom line is follow your heart, trust your heart, and stay in your heart. um, how do I want to? I'm trying to put into words. I don't want to say protect your integrity because it's not about protecting from outside, but it's like maintain your integrity and um allow the feelings to come and go, right? The feelings are going to be kind of roller coastery, but hold firm to your heart and know that no matter what is happening outside, that your heart knows what is true. Your heart knows what is right, what is appropriate, and what is for the best for everyone. When you follow your heart, yes, guard with love. That's thank you. Moon honey, thank you. um, and to thine own self be true, because by being true to thy yourself, you're automatically true to everyone else. I actually wrote a prayer many years ago when I was going through a period of panic attacks and anxiety that I've talked about before. I wrote this prayer to help remind me, to help recenter me. It was, Goddess, guide my feet that they never leave the path of honor. Grant me the strength and the courage to be true to myself and thereby true to all others. And let me always remember love. True to myself and thereby true to all others. It's a non zero sum. If you're being true to yourself, you can do no harm. How someone else receives what you do or what you say is fully in their court. They have choice. They have as many options as you do on how to receive it. So you don't have to, um, like they talk about, I heard someone say, I don't remember who it was, talking about like relationships. It's like you only go 50% and allow the other person to meet you at that 50%. If they don't come 50%, you don't fill in that extra 20, 30, 40% to make up for them. You stop, you hold that line and you take care of your own well-being. You prioritize yourself, right? Because when Jaguar goes hunting, she takes down the weakest or the slowest or the oldest or the sickest of the herd. So by feeding herself what she needs for her own well-being, she actually um, heals, adds to the strength and vitality of the herd, right? And then it follows all the way around the circle. So what is best for you is best for the other person. It's a mutual healing. It can't be otherwise. Okay. But know that your well-being is topmost. You can't know, no one has the authority to tell you what is best for you, right? Neither do you have the authority to figure out what is best for someone else. Your heart is your only barometer. So trust it. Trust your heart, you know. And one thing I can give you, one thing that I do personally that I um kind of in that same period when I was going through panic attacks and such, one thing I would do is I would meditate and I would reach out to it, my future self on the other side of whatever challenge I was facing. So, like on the other side of this whole thing that you're dealing with right now, to reach to the future self on the other side. Number one, that gives you a solid foundation on the other side. It gives you that assuredness that you are going to come through this, right? No matter what happens, you are going to get through this. Um, and by doing that, you're allowing that future self to reach back through time and guide you forward to where she is, right? Um, I do that all the time. And like when I was in the height of my anxiety and such, I went back to Minnesota to I spent a couple months with my parents to kind of readjust and everything. And I used to like middle of the winter time, but I would go for this 2 mile walk every day to this local park. And I would stand on this little bridge over the frozen stream every day, and I would talk to my guides there. And the one day I asked, I remember this so clearly, and I asked them, it's like, why am I doing what is going on? I should know better. I'm a shaman. I know I can see that this whatever I'm dealing with is not real. It's not true. It's not why am I getting bowled under by it? And my guide told me, actually Yeshua, that I wasn't dealing with just my own stuff, that I was carrying the energy of all the people who I would help in the future through similar circumstances. And, first thought you'd think, okay, thanks for throwing all this other crap on my shoulders, right? Like, what? I'm dealing with all these other people's stuff. But rather than making it heavier, it actually lightened my load because I saw this clear picture of all the people who needed me to get through that experience so that I would be there to help them. So it was like the people of the future reaching back through time, taking my hand and pulling me through, drawing me through that experience to my own healing, so that when they needed me in their future present, that I would have the experience and the compassion and the wisdom in order to help them. So yeah, help yourself. um, and just know that your heart, there is no right or wrong. Okay. Your heart is your authority. You are the queen of your own jungle. And as the apex predator, um, you get to decide who lives and who dies in your domain. Oh, yes, I didn't even think of it that way. Thanks, Moon Honey. She said, seeing yourself beyond that challenge is like the circle of life, like you were saying about Jaguar. I never even thought about that. That is, though, it's kind of the hero's journey in a way. But it's like there's so many. I mean, Jaguar is a American creature, but she's related to all the big cats around the world, and I always tie her. There's a connection to Artemis in my mind anyway. The huntress, and it's Artemis's silver arrows that decides. She's the goddess of the wild, and she's the one who decides the death and the life, right? If it's time for something to die, it's her silver arrow that takes it to the next life or whatever. And in your world, if there is someone that is not supporting your highest and best good, it's up to you to exile them, not destroy it. It's like, I'm not talking violent wise, I'm not talking physical world, but you have every right to banish people or energies or circumstances out of your life that do not fit who you are. And like I said, you have all the power of the universe behind you. The universe has your back. The universe wants you to succeed. In fact, if you look at it this way, this challenge would not be happening if there weren't already a part of you on the other side of it. Because if you didn't know there would be no awareness that the circumstances right now don't fit you unless you had a sense of what does fit you. Does that make sense? The fact that there's a challenge is actually a sign of growth. It's a sign that there is something more waiting for you. And that doesn't mean like I wish I remembered who said it, but um I was just reading something someplace where they were saying how it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple, right? And that's what I want to say. It's like it's simple to say. It's simple, you know. And that's, I guess, in a way, that's what my job is to kind of be the cheerleader, to remind you, to be that reminder, not to judge or get down. Well, you can do better than that or anything like that, but to keep reminding you of your power, right? I always say that anyone who comes to me for healing or reading or anything else, if they leave without being more empowered than they were when they came, then I didn't do my job. So, um, you have the power, you have the fierceness, right? This is about fierce self compassion, fierce self love, fierce self acceptance. Take everybody else out of the equation. Don't try to figure out, okay, well, maybe I can do this for that person or this for that person to make them feel better, to help them take it a little easier, whatever's going to happen. It's like, no, that's not your job. Take everyone else out of the equation. Present yourself as you know as much in your integrity as you can, your true feelings, your true voice. You know, another thing you might think of doing is remembering that, like when you can bring that into your awareness, that the person that you're dealing with is your equal, that they are just as divine as you are. They have just as much access to the power of the universe that you do, right? And so before any interaction, center yourself, move into your heart, and connect with their heart, with their higher self, however you want to think about it. But connect with them on that higher place. And um, sorry, my my 20% warning came up on my phone and it distracted me and I lost my thought. But it like to remember that other person is just as divine, just as magical, just as powerful as you are. And though they may not be as far in their physical, spiritual path as you, by standing in your power, expressing yourself, expressing your needs, expressing what you are going toward or whatever, you're actually giving them the gift of, um, even if they hate you for it, you're giving them the example of integrity. And they will always carry that until it's like you just planted a seed in their heart, and that seed will stay there until it has um enough, like until something happens that gives enough, sunlight and rain, whatever, for that seed to germinate and to grow, and they'll be like, Oh my God, I know. Okay, I was in a similar circumstance way back when, and I know what it looks like to be in my power, right? Be be the change, be the light, be the divine presence that you want to see in the world, right? Um, and again, I'm getting into my verbosity, if that's a word. But remember also that quote from Mother Teresa about going to paraphrase it just to get the short version, but it's like when if you're kind to people, they will accuse you of having ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. Dot dot dot. There's a list of like 4 or 5 other things. Then at the end, it's like because it was never about being between you and them, it was between you and God. Be your whole self. Bring your whole self forward. Bring your heart, the power of your heart. Not, we always think of like love and peace as being the passive and the floor mat, but be the fierce love. Be the fierce love of like Kali, that dark mother, that fierceness, that love and compassion that is fierce and unrelenting, right? But if anything else, I mean, it came up upright as well. So that's a sign too that you're doing it, that you're in the process of doing it, that you are standing in your power. You just need a reminder of that power. You just need that reminder that you're doing everything right, that you can't get this wrong, right? So I hope that is helpful, and move on to card number 2. All right. Card number 2 from my sister from another Mr. Aaliyah. Okay. Card number 2 for Aaliyah is, God, there's such a weird glare tonight. I'm not used to it being so light out at this time. So, like the sun, you can see the sun kind of shining through my backdrop. And so, and there's a different glare. Well, thank you, Kim. And Kim, you can message me. You can, if you need more help, you know, you're a friend, so you can call me. All right. Call me. Ba-da-bum, all right, card number 2 is Antelope for Aaliyah. Um, so Aaliyah, Antelope in reverse can be kind of well, what I'm getting is questioning yourself, questioning your senses, questioning your own perception of what's going on, and so you're hindering your own forward motion. You're so welcome, Kim. Um, Antelope, it's interesting because antelope is like, the book that comes with the cards, they have like you got the list of the cards and it's got the word that goes with each card and all that kind of stuff. But there are so many nuances and so many different, it's like you can't just box in. And the normally it's like, oh, antelope, that means sacrifice. And in a way it still is, but the thing that you're being asked to sacrifice is the self doubts. Um, to let go, sacrifice anything that is keeping you running in circles, right? Like I've talked about before when I graduated from Sandra Ingerman's shamanic training that um, the goddess Isis is one of her main spirit guides. And at the end, we each went up and she basically channeled Isis. Each of us got a personal message. And my message from Isis was that confusion is a distraction. Step into your power, something like that. Um, and that's kind of the case here. It's like if you're spinning, it's like that's the distraction. If you're running in circles, if you're not sure what to do, if you're not sure of your abilities, if you're not sure what's the right answer, if you're not sure, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, all you're doing is running in circles, exhausting yourself. And what you need to do is center and trust your senses, trust your intuition, right? Um, the antelope, they're not out there on the prairie grazing and constantly jumping and twitching and waiting for something to jump on them. They're relaxed and they're grazing at their leisure and but their ears might always be going, right? And they'll look up and they'll kind of scan the horizon or whatever, but they're not on high alert because they trust their heightened awarenesses that if something is going to threaten them, they will know far before it even comes into the visual range. And one of the things about antelope is knowing when to jump in and when to jump out. And so kind of like the Jaguar card, it's like take everyone else out of the equation and figure out what's for the highest good of you and then jump. You're being asked to jump. Kind of a leap, it could be a leap of faith, right? But you're you're not doing yourself or anyone else any favors by doubting yourself, by questioning yourself, by overthinking the situations, because in a way, by doing that, running in the circles, you make yourself easier prey for those who may want to um, glom on to you or take you down or whatever. But antelope is the second fastest land animal on the planet. And when you trust your heart to know when to leap, it's like once you get that signal, it's like, okay, boom, you're gone. There's no catching you. There is no one who can stop you. The only one who can stop you or impede on your progress is you, right? Um, they're second only to the cheetah. And so let yourself go. An Elvis song. Um, don't hobble yourself for the benefit of others or for the optics of what it might look like or how someone else might see it or perceive it, right? Again, be true to yourself, to thine own self be true. And um, you know, you're not meant to stay in one place. You're meant to run, right? And those who try to hold you down or hold you back or, box you in don't have the vision that you have. They don't have the experience you have of all the different places, all the different journeys, all the different vistas that there are to behold. And so, like, don't play small. There's nothing, like Marianne Williamson says, there's nothing enlightened about playing small for the comfort of others. We were put here to shine. We were put here to bring our whole selves forward, right? So don't hold back. Be your brilliant, beautiful, quicksilver self. And don't worry about how that translates into the world, how others might take it, or how it might um, affect, you know, whether it's a job or something else, circumstances, situations. If you are stepping forward with your highest abilities and focused on the long term, right? Then okay, what am I trying to say exactly? Don't let the small-minded around you convince you that you need to live as they do, right? Yes, exactly, Aaliyah. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. It is time to run. You're not helping yourself. You're you're wasting the energy. You're putting too much energy into something, into maintaining something that doesn't support you. And so it's time to gather your winnings, gather your bank, and take it somewhere else, knowing that you will always land on your feet. Um, think about in the X-Men movie, there's the Quicksilver. I think his name is Quicksilver. Um, but he's the one that can, like, kind of like the Marvel version of the Flash, right? And when he's running, it's like everything is in slow motion. It's like bring yourself up to speed and everything. It's not like you're going to run past something that's meant for you. You can't outrun your own destiny. It's like pick up your speed, go at your own rate, and things will slow down around you and you will not miss a thing. Does that make sense? Like when you're in a faster um speed dimension, right? What do they call it in the Flash? I can't remember, but everything else slows down because everything is relative, right? Um, so don't be afraid to run because there's always something else. If where you are is not suited to you, there is someplace else that is calling you. Rah. Awesome. I'm so glad that makes sense. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Card number 3 for Joe. In case you're like, if you're hearing me shuffle my cards, I pulled out because I don't want you to like when I do the community reading and I turn my phone down. I don't want you to see my dirty carpet floor, so I pulled out um, a fleece to do the community reading on. But it's really hard to shuffle cards on that. So my drum volunteered to be my temporary table. So shuffling the cards is I'm drumming when I shuffle. All right, card number 3. Okay, so Joe, card number 3 is Dragonfly in reverse. Let me write it down quick. Um, so story time. I know you probably heard this before, Joe, but just as a reminder, once upon a time there was a great and mighty dragon. And like most dragons, this one was very arrogant and loved to boast, loved to hear himself talk about his prowess and his magic and his abilities. And one day, Coyote got really tired of hearing the boasting. So he was like, somebody needs to take him down a notch. And knowing no one else better equipped to do so, Coyote went up to this great dragon and said, I bet you're not magic enough to make yourself that big. The dragon laughed in his face and turned himself into a dragonfly. Well, when he turned into the dragonfly, he got caught in his own illusion and started to believe that that was all he was, that he was this frail little being, this fragile little insect, even though he still had all his magic. He still had all the power of the universe behind him. He believed himself to be that small. And so um, this is a reminder of who you really are, right? Like Dr. Wayne Dyer would talk about being a spirit having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience. You are spirit. You are already whole. You are already high vibrational. You are already divine. That's who you are. And the physical self is just who we pretend to be for a while. This is an illusion, right? Um, and so Don't shortchange yourself. And remember that the reason the reason you're here in dragonfly form is because if you showed up in all your glory and your grandeur as the dragon, people would run for the hills and freak out. And so you chose to be that big so that others had a friendly face that they could relate to. Um, Kind of like Avatar, right? It's like the physical self is just the facade. Oh, I love that, Aaliyah. Shine bright like a diamond, my beautiful spiritual peacock. Exactly. It's like shine. Um, you came here in human form to be kind of the avatar of your greater self, to be able to um, speak the words of divinity, to present ideas and music like your beautiful sound bowls, right? To be able to move, to be the channel, like we talk about in shamanism, to be the hollow bone, right? And to become the hollow bone, to become that channel of energy that comes through, either, translated into words or music, whatever it is that moves people, um, in a way that is non-threatening, right? So, but at the same time, if you think about the rainbow wings of dragonfly, it's like dragonfly is a gatekeeper between the worlds, and his wings carry the rainbow of the greater reality and the illusion of this world. Um, and so it's kind of again, like I just said, it's like, we came here to shine our light, and by unfolding those rainbow wings, you might it's like you're still approachable, but there's something shiny about you that draws people in or makes people kind of look up to you or inspire them, but you're still seen as one of them, as approachable. So don't sell yourself short. Um, and and trust your vision, right? Part of what makes dragonfly one of the best hunters in the animal kingdom is those multi-hexagonal eyes of theirs, right? They can literally see in every direction at the same time. They cannot be snuck up on. Um, oh, you're so welcome, Joe. I love you too. And thank you. Um, right? I think dragonfly and hummingbird are the only two animals that can actually fly backwards, and they can hover. It's like when you carry that divinity within you, when you're aware of the divinity within you, despite outside appearances, you every moment you have an infinite amount of options. You can change direction, like kind of like UFOs, like making a right angle turn because and here's the reason they can do that is because it's like warp technology kind of warps warps the physical realm around you so that it's actually the physical reality that moves around you and you stay in the same place. That makes sense. It's kind of like you're a gyroscope. And like warp technology, it basically um it creates that field around you, basically kind of pulls you out of regular reality and um well I don't have the words to explain it right now, but you are it's like reality is moving around you rather than you moving through reality. So you are centered, you are stable, you are the foundation, right? Um, Hi Simran. I've already got my 5 1 card readings, but we're on card number 3 right now. About to go into card number 4. So because of when your question popped up, I would say probably listen to the next card, card number 4, and that will give you what you need to know. Okay. And I'm not trying to just blow you off or anything like that, but I don't have time as like my format is the 5 readings. So, or you can choose, we're on card number 3, so you can choose card number 4 or 5, whatever you choose. So, and I promise that you will get an answer. Anyway, so Joe, it's like, don't sell yourself short. Okay, Simran, awesome. Um, there's something else, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Give me a second. Oh, wow. Okay. It was something about the rainbow wings, and all of a sudden it became Bifrost. Um, the Bifrost Bridge, right, to um, Valhalla, Asgard. You are, I'm trying to find the right words to say this. I'm really hesitant too because I don't, it's like I'm questioning my own authority. Um, okay, this is not mine. Tell you what, Joe, I'm going to message you. I'm getting something that's a little more personal, but um, oh screw it, Joe, you're a shaman. There, you heard it. You are 1 foot in both worlds, like the Rainbow Bridge, like Dragonfly being the gatekeeper between the realms, and you are that. I just got chills, so I'm like, thank you. I'm like, I was like, because it's not up for anyone to be able to tell someone else who or what they are. So please don't take my word on it, but meditate on that journey on it. Um, talk to your guides about it to validate that because I don't have the authority to endow someone else with that title, but as a shaman, I know what I see. And you and I are brothers, right? This isn't just I'm not just telling some random person on the internet. But yeah, and that is what is going on here. It's time to address the dragon in the room. Stop pretending you're human and embrace all of you. Okay. And we can talk. I'm here for you if you want to talk. Or if you're able to take my upcoming course, right? Um, alrighty then. All right. So I don't think there's anything else I need to say at the moment. But Joe, we can talk offline and stuff. But you you know, and the thing is kind of like that thing where you flip a coin and before you actually look at the coin, you kind of check your feelings, say, see how you feel it, like which one are you hoping for? And that's actually your answer, not what the coin shows, but your own feelings about what you're hoping the coin shows. And so don't take my word as gospel truth, but feel what it feels like in your heart when I tell you that. Okay? That is your authority. Not my words telling you that, but the feeling that you have, whether it's a yes or a no, that's your authority. Okay? Oofda. All right. Moving on. Card number 4 for Anna. Oh, awesome. Your guides have been validating that for some time. Yep. And like they say, it's like if society doesn't create shamans, the earth will. It's like there's still, um, I got blasted by a bunch of people on a Facebook page for shamanism the other day because of something I said. But this page is like there's all these people on there that still are so stuck in I am the gospel, don't sell my own self short. I am not here to be the gospel for anyone. My word is not the final answer. How you respond to what I say is your final answer. If it resonates, yay, right? If it doesn't resonate, yay. So, what was I just forgot what I was saying. Oh, and there are so many people, you know, shamanism is over 100,000 years old. It's the very first spiritual practice known to humankind. It arrived on the planet the same time all over the globe in almost every culture. And so it carries tradition. And there's people today who are still caught in the tradition that it has to be indigenous, that you have to have a bloodline or you have to have all these other trappings. And it's like, no, you don't. If you're a shaman, it's because the spirits call you. That's it. No one else has the authority to tell you that you're not, or that you are, or that you have to jump through these hoops, or because you don't do this practice, or you don't have a teacher in this particular thing, or whatever. Screw that. Those times are over. Traditions need to change and evolve. I'm not saying to throw it all out, but especially like shamanism, and this is a little foreshadowing of my course coming up, but shamanism is not a set of traditions and dogmas and practices. Shamanism is the relationship we have between us and our spirit guides. That's it. And that is why it has survived for so long, because it's an ever evolving, changing relationship that changes and evolves to suit those who practice it. And like Sandra Ingerman says, it's not techniques that heal, it's love. You can learn all the shamanic techniques you want, but if you don't have love, you might be able to do some things and have a limited success or whatever, but if you're not coming from a place of heart and love and authenticity, integrity, it's not going to work. So, and our trial, like shamanism, traditional shamanism comes from, like, the threshold of becoming a shaman is usually an illness or an accident or something that takes you right to death's door and back. But you get a choice. But today's accidents and illnesses, etc., are different. They don't look the same. My own personal shamanic illness was the decade that I spent in those panic attacks and anxiety attacks and not knowing if I was going to live to the next day because I didn't know how my body could handle any more stress than it already was under. So I walked with death every single day for an entire decade. And when I finally pulled myself back from the edge of that, that was my that was my near death experience. That was my death, being at death's door and choosing to come back into the world of the living to share my gift. It may not be the traditional way of getting, mauled by a tiger or something, but there you go. Things are different, but they're still the same. And traditions change. And so, and labels are just labels. Even shaman is a label. It's the label that most suits me personally. Um, and at the same time, I'm so much more than that label. It's about finding our true selves, remembering who we are as divine, as spirit. That is that is the entire journey. That is the whole point of everything, no matter what label your practice has, what label you might carry. Um, it's all about going home. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, card number 4 for Anna. I was going to try so hard not to be so loquacious tonight. In the meantime, while I'm shuffling, I can also mention to please share my video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my videos and all of that good stuff. That helps me out. That helps others find me. And if you get something for tonight or you enjoy my work and wish to um, support your friendly neighborhood shaman, I have my Venmo link in the description. And anything you give is greeted with such gratitude, goes just right to me, helps me in my spiritual growth, helps me keep a roof over my kitty's head and food in her tummy. So, all right. Card number 4 for Anna. All right. Anna, I just okay, this is really funny. Um, but Anna, I just did a reading for you last week, full reading, and I believe if I remember correctly, this was part of it. And what's really funny is when I get to the community reading, the spread in the community reading, it's in the same place it was in your reading. So Badger is about tenacity. Badger is a little tank who sets his sights on something and doesn't stop. He might have to go over or under or through something, but he's going to get there no matter what. Um, in reverse, um, it's similar to what I was talking about with the antelope medicine, right? In reverse, it's kind of like it can be chasing your tail. It's like you're expending all your energy trying to move forward when there's no clear path. When there's no clear path, you're meant to sleep, you're meant to dream, you're meant to rest and to store your energy, right? Like, and it's Mercury retrograde right now. And um, so right now is not the best time to do anything that has to do with like to move forward with like new contracts or new business ventures, anything with communication or trade or anything like that. And so with Badger in reverse, it's about trusting the cycles, trusting the energy of the moment. And when there's no clear path for that energy to go, stand down and rest, right? Because there will come a time when the cycles realign, that door will open, ah, and boom, you will know exactly where to go. And you will, because of the rest and the all of that, you will have that energy built up that you will be ready to go. And I always talk about that one scene in Star Wars Episode 1. Is that the Phantom Menace? I don't remember what the titles are to the first ones, but the one where Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson are the Jedi Knights. Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's just a young Padawan. And Liam Neeson, I can't remember his Jedi name, but he's Obi-Wan's master. And they're chasing Darth Maul, right? And fighting him. And then all of a sudden, in their chase, this energy field comes up around Darth Maul. He runs in someplace, and the energy field comes up around him and makes him untouchable, right? Um, and so Liam Neeson, being the more practiced Jedi, the more wise and experienced one, with no clear path forward to his goal, he sits down on the floor and he starts to meditate. He gets realigned. He stores his energy, regains his focus. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan, being the less practiced one, is pacing back and forth, growling and just like champing at the bit to get through that energy barrier to get at Darth Maul. Um, and all of that energy is wasted energy, and all it is doing is tiring him out, um, taking away his focus, taking away his groundedness, taking away his energy, so that eventually, when that barrier drops and he's able to get at Darth Maul again, he's depleted, right? So rest, rest, right? Um, also, you know, Badger is also the keeper of the herbs in like British lore and such. Badger is the keeper of herbs because he burrows, right? And all the herbs, the roots of all the herbs are on his ceiling. So he knows all the herbal medicines. He knows exactly what plant does what and all of that. And so during this time of not moving forward, as you're resting, um, how do I put this? Don't just rest, but supplement yourself with the healing that herbs or supplements or exercise, whatever helps to strengthen you, whatever helps to heal you, whatever helps to make you feel more whole. Now is the time for that. Not just a passive resting, but um, a time to stock up. Kind of like the difference between like when you've been exercising, the difference between drinking just regular water or like Gatorade or something with the electrolytes in it, right? It's time to increase those electrolytes, metaphorically speaking, right? It's time to jazz up your self-care, um, to introduce things that are healing and um, catalytic and bringing that spark back. Because again, like I said with antelope, once that door opens and once you have that clear path, there is nothing going to stop you. You are a force of nature, and there is nothing that will get in your way. You can trust that, right? And, think about that. There's that one saying about how nothing that is meant for you will ever pass you by. Just because you're resting, just because you're standing down, doesn't mean you're missing out on any opportunities. What was meant to you will come to you. And it's more important to stay in alignment and to stay in harmony with the unfolding cycles and the timing of things more than it is to keep plowing forward even when there's no path. Okay. So self care, take care of yourself. All right. Card number 5 for Tammy. Tammy, we still need to get together and see the last, I don't know how many number of episodes of Starfleet Academy. All right. Ba-ba-dum, 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 ba-ba-bum, bum. Ba-da-bum, bum. Ba-ba-bum, bum. Da-da-dum, ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-bum, bum. I've been on a real Moana jag lately. I've watched that movie like 2 or 3 times in just the past week. Da 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 da. Ba-dum-bum-bum. I love that. I love, love, love the resolution of that. I won't do any spoilers or anything, but such a good movie. Such a shamanic movie. Anyway, card number 5. Didn't you get this one last time you were here? Card number 5 is a possum. Um, if not for you, I think it came up last week too. I know it came up recently. Um, yeah, because we were talking about pushing like the fourth wall, right? Um, Possum is the actor of the animal kingdom, and he plays playing dead. And the thing is, if Ham, where did that come from? If Possum believes his own act, he's really going to die because he's not going to get up. He's going to think he's dead, and it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But because he knows he's acting, he can recover, he can get up, because there's that realization of being the actor, not the character that he's playing. Um, yeah, because I was talking about my comics and stuff, and how for those who don't know, I'm also a cartoonist. Um, and it's like when you realize that you're not the character you're playing, but you're the actor playing a part. Um, it's like my comics, my some of my cartoon characters that I've been drawing since I was knee high to a grasshopper. They realize that they're cartoon characters. They realize that their existence. Whereas I live in a world of earth, air, fire, and water. They live in a world of paper and ink, and they realize it. Um, and they talk to me all the time, especially my one character. He's kind of like the voice of my inner critic, because he's always, if I draw them too much, he yells at me because they're getting tired, and there's like, don't you have other comics to draw besides ours? Like being a um, taskmaster. Or if I don't draw them enough, he gets on my case for avoiding my vocation as a cartoonist, as an artist. But so it's kind of like this self-awareness. But I think part of what's coming up this time is with that with that whole awareness and everything. um you don't have to play by the script, right? In fact, the people who change this world are the ones who go off script, who improv, right? Oh, you heard the lyrics for the song I was singing, the Moana? I know, right? And the whole Wayfinder thing, and it's just yeah. Anyway, um, part of the thing about going off script, um, I don't think anyone who's ever made a significant change in the world was following a script, right? Oh, Keep on Loving You by Foreigner. That wasn't the song I was I was I was singing. I don't know the lyrics. I was singing the song to from Moana. No one knows how far I'll go. Ba-da-bum, ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-dum. Anyway, Possum. The thing is, when you go off script, you realize that like the playing dead thing is like you get to say no, right? You're the one who gets to determine, no, we are not having that conversation. No, I am not doing that thing. That thing is dead to me, or this conversation is dead. I am not taking part in it. There's no life in it for me, right? Um, in the SCA or SCA group a long time ago, they used to, the in joke was we would go up to, they would be talking, or people would be talking, and someone would come up and go, see this map? This is the map I didn't buy because we're not going there. So it's that taking taking charge of of where you put your energy and not partaking in things that are not living and vital to you. Um, and in doing that, one of the things I love about Possum is that Possum is immune to all kinds of um, all kinds of toxins and poisons and venoms that possum is immune to. I read someplace that it would take 80 some rattlesnake bites before a possum would actually start to feel it, right? And when you weave that into the whole actor thing and kind of being in the world, not of the world, then the more you can walk through this world in that state of mindfulness, in touch with your real self, you know. And don't get me wrong, it's not to say that the character you're playing isn't real or doesn't have merit or validity, or value. It's just that there's so much more of you than what shows, kind of like what I said with Dragonfly. Um, but the more you live in the world like you're not of the world, the less things of the world, the slings and arrows have no effect on you. You're immune to so many of the toxins or the venoms that tend to get other people, right? Because you're not fully solid, people can't get their claws into you and drag you down. So it's that higher vibration. And that's where the adventure comes in, right? Because you know you're here for a reason. You know you're playing this part for a reason. You are this character, you are this person. And so the situations that you find yourself in, you know there's a purpose to them. You know you're being guided. And so you can trust more that you are always looked after, you are always watched over, that there is always a completely harmonious solution to whatever you're facing, that there is always a solution, right? It's kind of a both and. Yes, I am spirit, but I am also human. I am spirit and I am also human. Kind of like the um, remembering that you are spirit, which helps to raise you above the mundane aspects and the dredging, the you know base of existence. So that keeps you, raises you up, keeps you out of the gutter, but then it's remembering that you're human as well, that helps bring in the humility that, yes, I am spirit, but right now I am human, and my brain has physical limitations and context so that I can't know everything right now. And so I get to live this choose your adventure book in real time, knowing that everything is always working out, knowing that everything has a purpose and a reason, and knowing that the whole point at the end is that I'm going to remember my whole self, right? So throw away the script. You have every permission to improv. It's like Kyle Cease, who I've talked about before, that I follow. Um, he does he does these 3 to 5 day retreats, right, with thousands of people present, and he gets up on stage and he starts to talk for 3 to 5 days without a script. He doesn't figure out what he's going to talk about. He doesn't figure out where the retreat's going to take them. What the He gets up and he's in the moment, authentically just saying the words that are coming through at the time. No script. And that authenticity is like the new gold. It's like that's um and that's where the adventure comes, because then you're on that leading edge of creation, right? Because it's not scripted. So when you live from your heart, you speak the words that come through. There's no script to tell you how it's going to turn out. You know it's going to turn out eventually okay, but there's the adventure. That's It's like what I talk about when I'm teaching like shamanic journey and such, that sense of um expectant expectant curiosity. You expect and know that things are going to work out. You expect and know that everything's going to be all right, but you have no clue how it's going to happen. And so you hold on to that curiosity to say, ooh, okay, I'm in my power. I'm totally authentic in this spot. What's going to happen next? You know? So, so I hope that was helpful. Let me find all the cards. So that was our 5 individual readings. So I am going to dig through the deck right now and find the 5 cards. that came up tonight to do a community reading. So please stick around for that. Fortunately, it was like not, was it last week that I had two separate cards come up twice? And so I couldn't do the regular, what am I looking for? Couldn't do my regular 5 card spread. Okay, Possum, I just had you. I just pulled you. Where are you hiding? So if you were to come to me, there you are, for a one-on-one reading, what I'm about to do would be the form, the spread that I do for you individually. Oops. Okay. So turn my camera down so you can see. You can, okay. Can we get a little bit more? And then maybe we can. Okay, well, you don't want to. Oh, that's fine. Okay. Here we go. Ah,